Welcome back to the Dr. Ed Show. I'm Dr. Edmund Sulkowski, and we're here with Senator Cameron Bartolotta talking about how politics, how bills, how the government impacts us on a daily life and what we can do to maybe take control of our own daily lives. You know, Cameron, I registered Republican, come from a family of registered Republicans. In fact, when I was growing up, and I was so happy to go and vote for the first time, and I guess I'm considered a super voter. Because I think I missed voting one time, maybe twice. The minor elections, never a major one for sure. I'd walk in to the polling place and they would say, "Here comes one."
Oh,
meaning here comes a Republican.
Yeah.
It was so democratic at the
yeah.
time. And I would say that I'm certainly leaning to Republican. If there's a Democrat and a Republican, I'm voting Republican, you know, because I think the Republican Party is the party of common sense. And I see what the Democrats stand for, and sometimes I even think like the leaders, I don't think the average Democrat is evil, but I think some of the Democratic leaders are literally evil. And, you know, everybody that listens to my radio show, the Dr. Ed Show, which let me plug right now, you can listen to live every Saturday morning at AM 1250, The Answer, or 92.5 FM. Our past governor, and I use the term loosely, Wolf, I would always refer to as the big bad wolf, I think did more to harm this state and to harm the people and cause the death of people. And our current governor wasn't far behind.
As AG, right.
And to me, that's a problem. You know, I vote when I look at the character of somebody and what they're saying, and I don't vote for again for them if they don't do what they say they're doing. And a lot of people I've seen say I'm doing this, and they do the exact opposite of what they do. So, you know, a wonderful man that I supported, Frank Mascara, when he ran for Congress. A Democrat.
Right.
Staunch Democrat.
Yeah.
But he was a man of the people.
Right.
And when the Democrat Party saw that he wasn't towing their programs, they redistricted and got him out.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not saying that all Democrats are bad, but to me, anybody that supports most Democrats should be rethinking that.
All the Democrat Party has changed dramatically. I mean, this is not. If John Kennedy were alive today, he would be a Republican. A lot of people say that, and it's more true now than ever before. And it just is. It's a shame that I think both parties have been hijacked over the years, because you know there's some. To me, I think there's so many different parties out there, but they call themselves Republicans or Democrats. I think the Democrat Party has allowed this crazy train to take all of them over the cliff, because they refuse to separate themselves from the far left. I mean, look at the guy in New York running for mayor. Are you kidding?
That's insane. That's literally insane.
It is insane. Where are all the Democrats literally saying, absolutely not? He does not represent the Democrat Party. I haven't heard it. Have you heard any of that? Of course not. No. And they're feeding this frenzy. It's absurd to me that they're literally thinking of hiring. The guy's not even Marxist. He's communist.
He's a communist.
He's a communist.
Full-fledged communist.
And that's okay with them. They're like, are you kidding me? And that's what's just mind-boggling to me. And they wonder why the Democrat Party's polling numbers are just plummeting. Speak against these nut jobs. That's what they should be doing.
People don't understand that communism is a pyramid scheme. The people at the top got it all, and the people at the bottom got nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yet you supply the people on top.
Yeah, forever. With no chance of anything else other than that. And it's just crazy. Once you go down that road, you can't turn back. You just can't do it. And I think that is why so many Republicans or conservative Democrats even have been waking up going, wait. This is way over the top. This is not what I signed up for. And I think that's a huge reason why so many Democrats have changed to Republicans. But then, you know, I'll say it too, even on the Republican side, you have some of these groups that just keep trying to go so far to the right that if you don't do absolutely every single solitary thing that they think you should do, they call you a rhino and they try to primary you and they do this. It's just wait. You know, the Republican Party is not the party of being racists, extremists, who literally want to take decent human beings who have come to our country legally, legitimately, get up every single day, go to work, pay their taxes, open up businesses, live great, good lives. Their kids are great in school, and they vilify them. They attack them, and they lie about them. There's a lot of that happening out there. And to me, I think it's despicable. That to me is not Republican. That's not Republican.
Right.
You know, Republicans want to help people. They want people to be self-sufficient. We don't want them to rely on big government. We want smaller government. We want self-responsibility, self-reliance. And that's what we, you know, and they're vilifying it.
I don't want to be told how to live my daily life. I don't want to be told
Right.
what to do. I don't want to be told what I can do.
Exactly right.
And that's what all this is doing. You know, I think I have enough self-respect and enough intuition and enough knowledge to live my life the way I want to.
And responsibility for yourself, right?
Exactly. And the way they're trying to form society and change it.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important to speak up and do something about it.
Absolutely right.
So I would like you to define you as Senator Bartolotta in the state of Pennsylvania. What does a senator and what do you do actually?
My goal from day one has been to do everything in my power to make people's lives better, to bring industry and broaden the tax base of Pennsylvania to allow people to have good paying jobs in clean, safe neighborhoods with schools that actually teach kids to have a good life themselves. We don't want indoctrination in our school system. We don't want people to be to create a whole victim society and tell people they can't succeed, they can't do something for themselves, because the opportunities in this country and this state are endless. If you look out there and you say, no, I'm not going to let things get in my way. Be self-sufficient, get an education. You don't have to go to a four-year college. That's the other thing I've been passionate about. I was the chair of Labor and Industry in the Senate for 4 years because we need to protect our building trades. These organizations earn while you learn. They pay their own health care. They pay their own retirement. They're self-sufficient and they do a great job. Let's support them.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody thinks they need a college education. First of all,
Yeah.
you know, try to get a plumber.
Oh,
Try to get
yeah.
an electrician.
Right, right.
Try to have a mechanic that knows how to work on your car.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
almost impossible today for all that to happen.
Yeah, I was just at the Innovation and Energy Summit with Donald Trump and Dave McCormick, Senator Dave McCormick.
My nephew Alexander Sulkowski was there. He's
Oh,
the
okay.
CEO of Noble Environmental.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, the panel they had was amazing. And what's happening in Pennsylvania, the possibilities are really, truly incredible. If and only if we can get the Shapiro administration to stop trying to stifle permitting and prosperity. There's a lot of things going on with that because, again, the Innovation and Energy Summit, I was asked to be there. I attended 3 different things in those 2 days related to this wonderful announcement of $90 billion of investment in Pennsylvania. We have a company that already exists in Charleroi. They're investing $100 million in their plant because they're producing turbines for nuclear reactors. We have to add to the grid. This is something that I'm screaming from the rooftops. We do not have enough energy generation in Pennsylvania today without the AI or the data centers coming online that we are fighting desperately for. Pennsylvania should be the AI capital of the entire country because we have the resources under our feet. We have enough natural gas in Pennsylvania to fuel plenty of data processing centers, plenty of AI, any industry for that matter. They should be coming to Pennsylvania hand over fist. But we have an administration, the Shapiro administration, John Shapiro, when he ran for governor 4 years ago, was telling our building trades folks, oh, no, we can't be in RGGI. The Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, it's a carbon tax scheme, is all it is.
That's what it is.
Carbon tax.
Yeah.
And because Josh Shapiro, he was telling the building trades, oh, no, we're going to get rid of it. Thanks for your check. Then he would say to the environmental activists, oh, gosh, oh, no, we have to be in this. Oh, make them pay their fair share. We've got to do something. Oh, clean, blah, blah. No fossil fuels. Thank you for your campaign contribution. And I said it for 2 years, and I keep saying it. Governor Shapiro rides the fence on every issue so hard he has splinters in his
behind.
Thank you. And it's absolutely true. Absolutely true. You can't have predictability with the threat of a carbon tax over your head. So he said, okay, for it, I'm not for it. Then he's in office. He says, okay, we're going to let the legislature decide. We already decided it's unconstitutional. Okay, we're going to let the Supreme Court decide. Supreme Court said, we're with them. It's unconstitutional. He appealed it. So now there's this threat hanging over our heads. Who in the world is going to want to be a major company for anything that wants to come to Pennsylvania to build a headquarters or a manufacturing plant and anything? If they think, okay, if this comes down the pike, I'm going to have to pay 50% more for my energy. Who's going to do that? You're not going to do that.
Oh, well, I think it's fun writing checks unnecessarily for large amounts of
well,
money.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I've been fighting against that for a long time. I'm on the Energy and Environmental Committee, and because of where I sit, I mean, we've got Greene County, Washington County. It's coal, it's natural gas, it's all energy all the time. We could be producing 4 times the natural gas that we are right now, but we're fighting environmental groups with pipelines. Oh my gosh, we don't want pipelines. Do you have a stove? Do you have heat in your house? How do you think it gets there? Okay, so we're trying to do that. I have legislation right now that I have dropped, and that is a comprehensive plan so that anyone who wants to build a data center in Pennsylvania can do so without 2 years waiting for permits to come through the DEP. Here's why.
So they can delay that. They can keep delaying it with just waiting on permits to get.
It takes forever in Pennsylvania, forever. Now this is not meaning, okay, we're going to reduce the regulations. It's not going to make any difference, any change at all to air quality, water quality. Now everybody wants clean air and water. The problem is the permitting process is so lengthy, it's so cumbersome. And people can go to Ohio and get a permit for the same type of industry, factory or anything in Pennsylvania. They can get it in weeks in Ohio. It takes 2 years sometimes.
So then why would you want to come to Pennsylvania when you could go to Ohio?
And start earning and getting a return on your investment. So this legislation is newly dropped, and it mirrors an initiative in the House by Eric Nelson. He's a House member. We've got parallel tracks here. Let's see how we can push it through. But this would give the Department of Community and Economic Development, DCED, the ability to locate at least 15 sites in Pennsylvania that would be ideal for data centers. Okay, we know what they need, we know what they want. They got to be close to some energy, water, whatever. So these are 15 sites at least. At least 5 of them have to be close to decommissioned energy generators, like a decommissioned coal-fired power plant or gas, or nuclear, or close to one that's going to be decommissioned within the next 2 years. Okay, that's a plan. They're going to take those 15 sites, they're going to list them, and they're going to say, okay, these are the permits that we need for that. We need water, we need stormwater, we need this, we need earth movement. Here are all the different things. We're aware of it. These are the permits that need to be done in these areas. Let's get moving on it. And then when someone comes in, an applicant says, oh, I like that site. Okay, here you go. Here's your packet of permits that already are started. We know what you need. We know what you want. Let's go. Fast track. You go to the front of line. And that's what we need to do.
So ultimately, what does that mean when these companies come in and do that?
That means that we're open for business, and we're not lying about it, and we're not misleading them about it.
So you have jobs being produced?
Thousands of jobs,
You
yes.
have energy being produced?
Which we're sorely lacking,
You
energy
have
production.
tax base increasing?
Massive investment.
And why is somebody like Shapiro against all that?
Well, the thing is, you don't know what he's for or against from one day to the next. He goes in public and says, we've got $20 billion investment from Amazon, and we're going to do this and this. Okay, that's wonderful, but how are they going to do that if they can't get a permit in a timely fashion? How are they going to do that if their energy is going to cost them 50% more? If Shapiro would just remove his appeal for Reggie, the floodgates would open for people investing in Pennsylvania. We've got $90 billion coming in from energy producers, from data, from AI, from Fortune 500 companies. They were all on stage with Trump. I was in the very front row. I was literally in the very front row of this entire stage of all these individuals, and I know I've met half of them already. And to be able to say this is the investment coming in, and then not knock down all these crazy barriers for them to actually do what they want to do is disingenuous, it's frustrating, and it will limit our ability to be the leader in the AI race. We have to beat China. We can't have China beating America in AI. It would be dangerous.
China has a global mindset. I think
they have a 100-year plan.
They want to rule the world, and that's it.
That's their plan. They have a 100-year plan in China.
And we're paying for it for them to do it.
They're taking our intellectual property. They're taking our patents. They're mimicking everything we do here. They're ahead of us. Also, the thing is, we've got all of these regulations against coal-fired power plants. Excuse me, they're sturdy, they're reliable, they're cleaner than ever. Actually, we have technology today that if we pursue that technology as we're trying to do without being beaten down, we can use coal-fired power plants with a net negative CO2 emissions in 5 years. We can do that, but yet we're stifling and closing up coal-fired power plants and reducing the energy production on our grid, which is dangerous. We're 40 gigawatts shy of what we need today before adding any data processing centers. How are we going to do that? Stop shutting down the coal-fired power plants, run them with the new technology very cleanly, and stop sending our coal to China. They're building coal-fired power plants one a month out there almost, right? Do you think that their air quality regulation is anything like America?
No.
Zero.
And their garbage blows this way.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. So we have to be smarter. We have to be predictable in Pennsylvania. And we can't have a threat over our heads. So, Shapiro talks out of both sides of his face. It's okay, we're going to bring this energy in, we're going to do this, we get S done. Well, you know what, Josh? People are tired of your S. We want to see success, we want to see innovation, we want to see energy production in Pennsylvania, and we can do it if you just get out of the way. That's what we need to have.
Well, during Fauci 19, as I officially call it, and Governor Wolf, the big bad wolf, I saw what he did, and I saw how he, in alignment with the New Jersey governor, New York governor, that wacko in California that people keep voting in, they had a chance to get rid of him, and they vote him back in. I just don't get it.
Wow.
But they took sick people, put them in convalescent homes with immunocompromised elderly people that were going to die, and say, oh, this virus is killing everybody, No. And Shapiro was part of that.
Yeah.
And
how he was the Attorney General at the time, exactly.
And then he was involved in the mail-in ballot stuffing stuff that was going on at the time too. There was, I think he passed something, if I remember correctly, that
it was the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania is an activist Supreme Court, and if people don't get to the polls this November and say no on retention, we have the ability, we have the chance to vote no on retention for activist Supreme Court justices. They're the ones 6 weeks before the election in 2020 decided to change the law, right? People keep complaining about, oh, it's Act 77. You voted for, every single Republican voted for Act 77, which was, and I hated it. And I talked to my leadership. I said, wait a minute, we have absentee ballots right now. Why do we need a whole new animal for this mail-in? I don't get it. I don't get it. How about just no excuse absentee ballots? Oh, no, no, no. This is the only way we're going to eliminate straight party voting. Eliminate straight party voting. So people can't go into a voting booth and just hit one button straight down and walk out. You have to take your time. You have to go through the process. Okay? So if you're bussed in to go vote and they tell you hit the button, okay, they can't do that anymore in Pennsylvania.
No, you can't.
But I didn't think the trade-off was we didn't get enough for it. So I thought, okay, I hate this idea, but I was in leadership, like, okay, it's the only way we're going to get it. We need your vote. We need your vote. Okay, but it wasn't tight enough. And the problem with that bill, it never ever allowed for drop boxes all over the place, unmanned, unwatched. Never allowed for that. It never allowed for ballot harvesting. That's illegal in Pennsylvania, and people are still doing it. We have to stop them and prosecute
And
them.
we just saw China produce ballots and license, fake driver's
Exactly
license
right.
to allow this stuffing to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So we have to stop that. We absolutely need to tighten our belts, secure our voting places. No drop boxes all over the place. We can't have that. But our Supreme Court said, we're just going to allow it. We're just going to allow it. Oh, and they were the ones who decided to change election law 6 weeks beforehand and say, mail-in ballots, because of COVID. If they come in 3 days later, that's okay. We'll still count them. If they're not signed and dated, we know that's what the law says, but we'll let it slide. No. And we still have lawsuits out against that. We still have, 5 years later, we still have lawsuits. Lastly, on that whole 2020 thing, the night before the 2020 election, our Secretary of State, Kathy Boockvar, took it upon herself to contact all of these predominantly Democrat precincts and say, okay, the whole Supreme Court thing that you're supposed to separate out the unsigned and undated mail-in ballots, go ahead and start counting those. Or call up those people and tell them to come and cure their ballot. Have them come in and cure their ballot, fix what's wrong with it so we can count it. She didn't do that for predominantly Republican districts. Why do you think that is?
So why isn't she being investigated?
Oh, well, here's the thing. The morning of the election of 2020, before any ballots were counted, the Republican Senate caucus demanded her resignation immediately, demanded her resignation. And we fought and fought and fought that. So, all eyes are on election integrity right now. All eyes are. So we have to get people to volunteer to be poll watchers and poll workers. Get off the couch, Republicans. Get out there, protect your polling places, be part of the process, get trained, get out there to the polls, and get every single person all of these, they get to the polls and vote. Do you know that most people don't realize how many times do they have the opportunity to vote? How many times? Twice a year. Most people say, every 4 years. No, twice a year, every year, you have the chance to vote. Most people don't even know that. Get involved. And politics starts at the local level. Your school boards, your borough council people, your township supervisors, your city council. Get out there and make a difference. Learn who the heck is on the ballot and what the heck their values are. What are they saying?
What do they stand for?
Yes, get to the polls every primary, every general election. Get out there and be a part of this process. Don't let our small communities be hijacked by extremists and people who don't want the same values and the same issues that we're fighting for.
That is so important, and I know people that do not go out and vote, not even register to vote, and they have the biggest mouths complaining about what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And I look at them and I say, what are you complaining about? Mm-hmm. What did you do about it?
Exactly right. Exactly. And that's the least that you could do is go out and vote. I have so many Democrat friends, the moderate, the normal, middle of the road Democrats, and you ask them, why are you a Democrat? And they're, well, because my parents were, my grandparents were, blah, 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 blah. And you ask them, okay, describe to me what a Democrat values and believes in. And many of the times they're describing Republican-centric values. And I'm like, okay, so are you for, open borders, bring everybody in, house and feed and educate illegals? No. Okay. How about abortion up until the moment of birth? Oh my God, no. Okay. And that's the other thing too. Most Democrats I know don't believe in that. They don't. But they're not shouting against the ones that are all for it. They're not saying, no, stop hijacking my party and bringing them more to the center. They're not doing it.
No, but they go on, they vote that Democrat, and then...
Or they wait. Too many Democrats in this district, in this whole part of the state, they won't switch parties, but they'll say to the Republican people that they like, oh, I'll get you in the general election. Out this way, the election is decided in the primary. The election is decided in the primary for Republicans, typically, okay? Because in a lot of places, you're not going to have a Democrat even really running in a lot of places. Opposite of what's happening in the city of Pittsburgh for the mayor's race, right? So be mindful of, make sure that your registration reflects your true political beliefs. And it's okay. There's lots of room on our side, folks. There's a lot of room.
And I think it even goes on beyond political beliefs. There's moral beliefs.
Right. Yeah, your values.
Your values.
Family.
And
Family-centered and, hardworking people.
And that extreme, you can call it left, whatever you want to call it, doesn't always coincide with those beliefs.
No.
Yet they support them.
And that's the problem. You had commented before, you've got, Arizona, all these people fleeing California, moving into Arizona, but they're bringing the same problems with them. What is going on? If you don't like what happened before, you have an ability to change it. Focus on those things. And again, next year is the gubernatorial race, but it's also a race for every single House member in Pennsylvania. Okay, every House member is up every 2 years. Half of the Senate is up, every 2 years as well. This coming year, it's all of the even-numbered Senate seats are up, minus one of those. In 2 years from that, it'll be the odd numbers that will be up. So they split them up. But every House member is up this time. So vote for people who are really doing the job. Make sure that you are looking for someone who is running that's actually working, that has an experience, the education, and the history that you value and that is going to make the difference. That's extremely vital.
So on the 5th of July, my doorbell rings, and I go to the door. It's like, open the door, there's a young guy there.
Oh, uh-huh.
And he has this, I thought he was going to say, I'll cut your lawn, work for lawn service, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I looked down at the thing he's holding in his hand, and it was a camera.
Yeah.
Pamphlet.
Yeah, little flyer. Yeah.
And I said, can I help you? And he said, well, I would like to talk to you about it. And I said, I appreciate it. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing, but go to the next house because I'm already there.
Oh, well, what's funny? That flyer was not a campaign flyer.
I know it wasn't.
Okay.
I have it. I meant to bring it today, but
okay,
I forgot
I'm really glad you brought that up because there are these groups of people that have, they're paid a few bucks. I mean, they have people that they find on a bus bench or something and say, hey, here's a few bucks, hand out this flyer, whatever. They're doing it to me. They're doing it to Senator Frank Ferry out in the Philly area. They're doing it to Chris Gephardt. They're doing it to, a few of us. And I don't know. I don't think they're doing it to everyone. I don't know why not. But anyway, what that flyer is and what's hilarious about it is it looks like two different people. Because on one side is like a very, very, very early professional Senate photo of me that's list of this as senators. And I've got like short blondish hair, And then the other side, I've got like really long dark hair. I'm like, oh my God, it looks like two different people. It's really ridiculous. But these are folks that are being paid by these groups of skill games companies. Okay, skill games are basically slot machines. They're slot machines. It's gambling, all right? And they are everywhere. They're in Sheetz, they're in, Wawa's, they're all across everywhere.
Well,
And
Wawa's a Philadelphia.
it's it's two different things, but they're in. Some of them are, a lot of them are in our private clubs. Okay, our VFWs, our American Legions, and Elks, and God bless these groups, these clubs, because they're withering on the vine. They need a source of revenue, because back to the subject, young people, they're not participating in those kinds of things anymore, and they really should be. They're wonderful, charitable organizations. We really need to support them, and this is a way for them to get some funding. But these skill games companies, they want to operate in the dark. They want to operate basically illegally. It's a gaming machine. It's a gambling machine, and they're saying, "Oh no, there's skill." It's like how fast you push the button. How fast you can put money into it. And we've got kids playing these things. There's a lot of crime going on around these locations where they are. It needs to be regulated. Okay, we need to know where they are, who are operating, make sure kids aren't playing them, and all of those sorts of things. But the skill games people, they don't want to be taxed. They don't want to be taxed at all. Meanwhile, they're competing with the slot machines in all of our casinos, who have spent hundreds of millions of dollars for their licenses, for their establishments, hiring people, paying whatever. And so these companies are sending out people with these flyers. They're not attacking me.
No, there was no
At least it's
attack
sort
on
of,
it.
yeah, it's like,
It was-
she's been with us so far.
Yeah.
Make sure she
Yeah,
doesn't hurt our fire departments and blah, blah, blah. Lastly on this, they are so obnoxious and awful to my friend and colleague, who's Senator Frank Ferry. He is a fire chief. He's been a fire chief in his area, in the Philly-ish area, for 25 years, and a firefighter longer than that. He is a wonderful, wonderful human being. He fights hard for all of our firefighters and EMTs and everything else. His wife is going through a horrible battle with breast cancer right now. He's got that on his mind with young kids. And these groups are out there going door to door saying he doesn't care about the firefighters, he doesn't want to do that. Like, what the heck are you doing? It's just horrible, horrible. And they hire people from Texas and Ohio and whoever will take a few bucks.
And I saw that after I took it from him, because I thought initially it was
campaign material.
Campaign material, but it wasn't.
No.
But it didn't paint a bad picture.
No.
And I thought, it gets her name out there.
Yeah, but people are like, wait a minute, they're calling my office saying there was this guy who really smelled bad and could hardly speak English. And he was
I
like,
didn't get that close.
Not with me. No, it's like, he's not with the office. He's not with the office. But, some of the things that they're doing, they're actually sending people out pretending to be firefighters in Frank Ferry's area.
Is that right?
It's horrible. It's underhanded, and it's just not the way to do things.
That's almost a Democratic move, but a Democrat's move. But anyway, I just want to interject something here.
Sure.
The one thing that I see when I've seen you in events and so forth is you're very accessible. So as just a general citizen in your district, in 46, and I am in your district, you're accessible. You make yourself available.
I try really hard to be, absolutely.
So you have offices in the different areas, and people can call up and say, I'd like an appointment with
absolutely
my senator,
Sure.
and you sit down and you meet and talk with them and hear their concerns.
Yes, absolutely, sure. Because that's how you learn. That's how you learn what's going on. I'm in communication with all of my township supervisors, borough council people, and all that. Just about a week ago or so, I was up in Beaver County. Now, mind you, it got redistricted. I have 3 little municipalities up there, but I went up there and I met with the township supervisors, the secretary of the township, and all of that. I said, listen, tell me what you need, what's going on, and we're working on those issues. So, I do that in Washington County. I do that in Greene County. I try to meet with the folks as often as I can, but it's a very, very large district. I have 273,000 constituents. I have, I think, 21 school districts? Oh, it's now down to 19 school districts that I'm working with. I have, all of these different municipalities, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So some people are like, oh, well, wait, you've only been here 3 times. Okay, well, I'm up in Beaver County. I go from all the way up there in Beaver County all the way down to the arms of West Virginia. I was just down at the Jacktown Fair. I'll tell you what I did. That was, it's their 160th contiguous fair. It's the longest running, continually running fair in America. And the phrase is, you can die happy when you've been to the Jacktown Fair. It's a wonderful community, and I did every single thing in the world I could do to be at that parade. Let me tell you what it was. That was the same evening as the Innovation and Energy Summit with Trump and McCormick and the whole deal. I stayed till the very end of the summit, right up there, and then I scooted the heck out of there, fighting traffic. It was 5 minutes to 5 leaving Pittsburgh. Oh my God. Summit traffic, bumper to bumper traffic. It took 2 hours.
Plus they shut down roads everywhere.
Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It took 2 hours to get down to the Jacktown Fair. And, you know, I was number 7 in the parade lineup, but I said, I'm texting, I'm coming. And we waited. By the time I had to ditch my car in a parking lot on the side of the road and run the rest of the way because I couldn't get my car. I'm like, I'm going to make it. So I got all the way down there. We got lined up number 68. Yeah. So I was able to walk in the Jacktown Fair and be there to give a citation to the Grand Marshal and to the outgoing Miss Jacktown Fair. And yeah, I mean, those things are really, really important. These are the best things that happen in those communities. That's so important. They work so hard for these things. And as a senator, if I can be there, I will move heaven and earth to be there for these very, very, very special, iconic moments for every municipality I have. It's vital. You got to be there.
Well, that's good to hear, because I think sometimes becomes this distance between your representative and you as just an ordinary citizen.
Well, but you know, it's not just being visible, it's actually getting things done. It's actually getting the work done. I had a text this morning, actually a Facebook message. Please don't Facebook message me on my personal Facebook account. It's like, because I don't look at it all the time, and some people are like, oh my gosh, I really need help. I'm like, oh, please call my office. We got to get on it immediately. And I don't look at those messages. Anyway, so this friend, Facebook, oh, thanks so much. You know, I had trouble getting my license plate, and you know, your staffer did a great job. I'm like, thanks. So it's you got to work too.
So even for something which is kind of minute issue, that's your office is somebody can go in because you have a staff that can get in there and do something about it.
Oh my gosh, we do it all the time. And my staff goes out into the community for a lot of things too. We do Real ID seminars. We do that for years and years and years. We do rent rebate programs. My staff will go to a senior center and advertise it like crazy and say, come on in, we'll help you get your rent rebate. LIHEAP, you know, assistance for heating bills and all of that. I mean, we are out in the community. Our doors are open all the time. Our phones are working. I have my main district office is in the city of Washington, right across from the courthouse. And I have a full team there most of the time. Call and make an appointment. I will see you. You know, and when I'm in town, I see people there all the time. We have a small office in the municipal building in Waynesburg, the county commissioner's building. I have someone there all the time. I have an office in Charleroi in the building that's got the Area Agency on Aging and others. I have someone who's training to be there a lot. So we try very, very hard to be accessible. We do a lot in the office. There are a lot of things that we can do. I have helped people with their unemployment compensation for years.
Which is a problem because of Fauci 19, all those offices were shut down. Nobody was available. You left a voicemail. You never got returned because
it was a disaster.
You know, it's interesting in my profession, and I'm, you know, kind of so close with my patients, and we have these conversations, and that's all I heard.
It's horrible.
Issues after issue like that.
Well, we had Wolf shut everything down, and Shapiro was going to, you know, attack people. You lose your license, we're going to shut you down, and you know, if you don't comply. That was absurd. But I was the chair of Labor and Industry for 4 years, and it was all through COVID. And we had the most antiquated, ridiculous unemployment computer system that was a piece of junk for years, and they hadn't replaced. And so here we are. We went from an average of 40,000 unemployment compensation requests a year to 2.7 million because Governor Wolf shut down Pennsylvania worse than any other state in the country.
He did. Absolutely
any
did.
other state.
Shut my office down.
He did. His
Healthcare.
cabinet company stayed open though because
It
it was
did.
essential.
Oh yeah,
That was
was
essential.
Oh, and abortion clinics stayed open.
Well,
that
there's
was
that.
no, that
and
was no
strip clubs
problem.
though. Strip clubs
stayed-
open, churches not.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tell me about that. That's
Yeah,
interesting. And everybody said that was okay.
Not everybody.
No, not everybody is right.
One thing I will never, ever, ever forget, and I will never let happen again. As a senator, we were given the phone calls and things ahead of time. The information was embargoed, meaning you can't tell anybody, but we're going to tell you what's up. And I would get a phone call like on a Friday, and it would say, okay, you can't tell anyone, but on Monday, Governor Wolf is going to go from red to yellow or yellow, whatever the idiotic freaking system. And I said, well, this is absurd. Why can't you just tell people now? What's going to be, safer next week? Because he would say, they're going to announce on Monday that on Friday it's going to go. I'm like, what? This is stupid. Why are you doing it this way? Just lift it now. Well, but no, it gets worse. That was a Friday, and I said, okay, fine, I'll just wait. This is so irritating. I get a call on Saturday telling me that a bar owner who was going through his savings. He was trying to support his staff, which had become family to him. He couldn't open. It was ridiculous, losing everything, dipping into his savings, and he committed suicide. He killed himself on Saturday because he said, well, at least my family is going to be able to get my insurance. I'm not going to drain my kids' college fund, everything else. Immediately, I went on to hang in there, folks. It's coming. It's coming. Governor Wolf is going to announce on Monday. It's going to lift. Hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. Immediately, I get a phone call from the governor's office. Well, we're not real happy. And I told him the story. I said, you guys are killers. You guys are killing people.
Yeah.
This is disgusting. And I hope you don't sleep at night. And I said, I will do it every single time. Every time. This is absurd.
Good for you.
Shame on you.
Yeah, good for you. I did that on my radio show all the time. I called Wolf a mass murderer, and I told Fauci. I called Fauci the modern day Mengele.
Well, more and more is coming out all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't want to hear about. Well, we didn't know. We didn't. No.
We
There were
knew.
other states.
I knew.
There were other states that were doing it. How about Florida? Their death rate wasn't
No.
at all.
And they have more elderly people than Allegheny County.
Absolutely. But
So-
again, it just was so absurd. And the thing that's so glaring to me was the discrepancy in one company that does this exactly this way here was shut down. No, you can't. And then another one doing exactly the same thing in another. Oh yeah, you're fine. Wait a minute. Hold on. There was no rhyme, no reason, no anything. It was absurd.
Well, I would always talk about this,
dark period in our
Camera.
history.
6 foot distance, social distancing. Anytime I hear that word social, like, it frightens me to begin with anyway.
Yeah.
But 6 feet social distancing. Canada 6 feet 5 inches.
Oh my
Germany 2 feet. England
Wow.
3 feet. It's the same virus. Why in America we have to not hug grandma or stay away 6 feet,
Yeah.
but in Germany you can only be 2 feet away. None of it it was all a lie.
It was arbitrary
Yeah.
crap.
Yep.
And a lot of us knew it, and we were called, anti-vaxxers. And I was not an anti-vaxxer. If you wanted it, and if you really thought it was going to help, fine. I literally helped set up mass vaccine sites in places that asked for help. Fine. But you don't have to go the thing that was illegal, unconstitutional, and unconscionable was to tell people you're going to lose your job if you don't get
I know people
the
that
vaccine.
did.
It's ridiculous.
That
Ridiculous.
even had documented medical excuses from
I know.
physicians, and they lost their jobs.
I have a very dear friend who had the exact same thing. Yes. Yeah. He was immunocompromised because after a massive hurricane in Puerto Rico, he worked for Verizon at the time, and they had him take a whole team to Puerto Rico. They said, oh, you got to get all these shots before you go because it's just literal sewage going through the streets. Okay, you got all at one time. It literally destroyed his immune system, destroyed it. He was so sick. You know, he did his job, and then after that, he just was a mess. So it took forever to rebuild and get healthy of all that stuff. And then they were saying, "Oh, you got to get this vaccine." He's like, "I can't. I can't. Medically, I can't." Well, we're gonna have to.
You can't eat. You can't go to work. Can't go to the grocery
store. It's like, wait
store.
a second. That doesn't make sense. I literally have a.
Yeah.
And his job was not putting him in front of anyone face to face. No one. It was insane. So.
And they used media to propagate all of that, you know. So it
well,
was
and how about the fact that social media was paid or threatened so that, you know, don't let anything anti our message out.
So I always
That's
loved
ridiculous.
this one.
Okay.
So abortions are my body, my choice, but vaccinations are no choice.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you're killing grandma without it. Does it keep me from catching it? No. Does it keep me from spreading it? No. So how's it protecting grandma?
In fact, all the evidence shows that the vaccinated were spreading it and causing it to mutate and infecting other people by shedding. So there you go.
And now we also finally, I mean, they knew this.
They did.
But they were censoring all of that data and information, which was disgusting. But we now know, even back then, people knew, okay, 6 feet doesn't mean crap. You know, so if I walk this direction down the supermarket aisle, I won't get it. But if I walk this way, oh my God. And now they do know too that you know, those folks, you know, God bless them, that did get the vaccine, all the boosters and all that other stuff, they are more susceptible to COVID than people without it.
And the reason for that is the spike protein will forever, for the rest of their life, keep continuing to be produced in their body. And so their immune system is always under attack. And now I've never seen so many patients. When I used to see a patient with AFib, it was unusual. AFib is common. I have to review blood thinners all the time because they're always now on a blood thinner.
Oh my God.
Watchmans, pacemakers, strokes. I got to tell you, I've never seen so many people with strokes.
Oh, that's so sad.
All since this forced vaccination.
That is so sad.
So okay, that all happened. The lesson is now we can't let it ever happen again.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
So and I think people like yourself are critical for that, because you are our fighting force.
Well, and again, you need to know who is your voice, and you need to know too, are they using their voice for you, or are they just going into the office and never stepping up and being the voice of the people they're supposed to represent? I know some person who happens to be in office and has never taken the microphone on the House floor, never stood up for or against anything for their constituents. Never once in all the years. You know, it's like, what are you doing there?
Just go there, collect a check.
What are you doing? You know, I'm fighting for you. And well, really, how? Show me how. Yeah. So you need to be, we are hired by the people to go into Harrisburg and to listen to their wishes, bring it to Harrisburg, and you're a legislator for legislation. The legislation doesn't have to be arbitrary, whatever. Oh, we're naming a bridge. No, that's not it. Okay, what is harming the people in my district, and how do I fix it? So there are laws on the books right now that were written decades and decades and decades ago, but they're meaningless right now, or they're contrary to what is helpful. You got to get in there and weed them out. You got to clear the way for progress and for prosperity.
So is there anybody that looks at like these old laws that are useless and just say, let's get them off? They're taking up space?
Yeah, there are, but again, you know, that happens when you're not busy with laws that need to be done right now. I mean, 20 years ago, did anybody even know the term data center or AI? That, you know, what do we do for that? We have to, like my legislation, that literally will help clear the path and clear the runway for some of these mega investors who want to come to Pennsylvania. but aren't going to if they're bogged down with all these permits and it takes 2 years to get this one and then another 2 years for that. This gives them parallel tracks. So those are things that we're trying to think of to do. We just spoke about a bill the other day that Senator Argyle was talking about. I wish I knew what it was. But anyway, he was saying that, one of the things they're going to do in it is take out the word, oh, I know it, using, putting ads in newspapers and things like that for upcoming municipal events and things like that. You have to put it in 5 newspapers, find 5 newspapers.
Yeah, really.
Find them. And another thing, the law is so old, it literally has on there something about telegraph. Does anyone know what a telegraph is? No.
Dot.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
so when I first moved back from Arizona, in Arizona, they had this, you can't hold your cell phone in your hand law.
Okay.
All right. So
Right.
you had earbuds.
In the car. Yeah. Right.
So I moved back here, and I had been on the phone, so I had earbuds in my ears, and I would get in the car, and I was driving that old classic car that I have, but I didn't even have the phone on or music on or anything. I just forgot to take them out of my ears. I got pulled over.
Really?
What's the problem? I knew I was speeding the car to go 20 miles an hour. So he says, we pulled you over because you have earbuds in your ears. I said, so? Well, you can only in the state of Pennsylvania. I said, well, I just moved back from Arizona.
Yeah.
And I said, that's what we have to do. He said, in Pennsylvania, you can only have one earbud in one ear.
Okay.
And I said, what's the reason for it? And he kind of looked at me and didn't say anything. I said, is it because I couldn't hear a siren,
truck, a siren,
or a horn?
Car, yeah,
And he
horn.
said, yeah. And I said, let me ask you something. I said, if I was completely deaf, 100% deaf, I said, am I prevented from having a license to drive a car? Oh, absolutely not.
There you go. Yeah.
And then he smiled. I'm only going to give you a warning.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things like that are stupid.
It is. It is.
And
blue laws. The
yeah.
blue laws.
Is that what they call them? The
Yeah,
blue laws?
crazy ones. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's probably in your mind the most key thing that's happening in the state that's going to impact us, that's going on right now?
Well, I think we've covered a lot of that. I think, to me, in my personal opinion and where I represent, because it's energy, we literally have the opportunity of a lifetime for a renaissance in Pennsylvania like no other time since the creation of the steel mills. We have the opportunity right now to take advantage of $90 billion of investment coming into Pennsylvania from all of these Fortune 500 companies, and we will miss the boat if we don't stick to permitting reform and getting the governor to agree that it's really, really important to be predictable and honest and get off the fence on this onerous carbon tax that he's passionate about.
So Shapiro's the wall.
He won't admit it, but he absolutely is. We have lost billions of investment because of his stance on this carbon tax.
So what do we do to try to get him to
You write letters, make phone calls, telegraph.
telegraph?
Kidding. Just get your voice out to the governor's office and say, get out of Reggie. We have an opportunity to be the AI leader in America. It won't happen with the threat of some ridiculous carbon tax over the heads in Pennsylvania. Get permit reform actually going, and I don't mean a license to be a barber. He was bragging that one up. I'm like, no. We need real permit reform. We need real cooperation with the administration, with the political branch, all of the above, so that we can take advantage of this. And we have to beat China. Pennsylvania can be the one to do it if we do it the right way.
We're at the end of our show, Senator. Please tell people, I know we put up on the graphics how they can contact you.
I'm easy to find. I'm the only state senator named Camera.
All right. And
Google. Yeah.
you're happy to try to help.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
And
yes.
we need to get out and vote on what date?
The primary is May 19. I think. Yes, it is May 19. Yeah. We'll
Always
put it out
on a
there.
Tuesday.
There you go. But you know what? More than that, please. This November, get to the polls, the general election. No on retention. Take back the Supreme Court. Get it out of the hands of activist Supreme Court judges.
Which are all Democrats.
They are. There's one in particular. you know, that's really the worst. So I'm not sure if I'll vote no on every single one of them, but yeah, definitely we need to take back the Supreme Court. You got to get out there and vote. Get your family out there to vote. Make a plan to vote. If you can't get out and vote, if you think maybe I won't be able to, do the write-in. Do the write-in. Take advantage of that. You know, the rules have changed. We got to play by the playbook, and let's use it to our advantage. Get every single Republican you know to get out and vote.
Thank you so much, Senator. It was my pleasure to have you on the show. I know
Great
you're
to
going
be
to be
with you
doing the
again.
radio show soon.
Yes, let's
and
do that.
people have an opportunity on that to call in and actually talk with you.
Love that.
So we'll, once we have that date set up, we'll do some marketing so that people know to be able to do that.
Can't wait. Thank you for that too.
Thank you. Remember, a healthy pet is a happy pet. And, you know, we have a voice. If you sit back and take it, then you deserve the consequence. Get out and vote. Vote for the right people that are working for the benefit of your life and your well-being. God bless. We'll talk to you next time.